aka Diz, and this is The Force Always.
Okay, so welcome to the show. This is The Force Always. Let's get on with the show. The Siege, which is a Mandalorian episode, which is on Disney Plus, has just aired. Well, by the time you get this, probably a little while ago. It's chapter 12. It's episode 4, season 2. The Mandalorian is called The Siege. A review for that later on in the show. So stick around for that one. Anyway, to more news. We have a character poster for last week's episode of The Mandalorian. Bo-Katan and the crew pictured here. Check that out. Bo-Katan, she was actually the actress who voiced Bo-Katan in the Clone Wars animated series, and she's come for the live action thing. I thought it was very good, very fantastic. Anyway, to more news. Here is a great Star Wars figure. This is Moff Gideon. This is a black series. You can get this via MandoMondays.com. Check that one out, MandoMondays.com. Moff Gideon, this is a character, the evil character, you could say the Darth Vader type character for The Mandalorian season 2 and season 1 at the moment. So we're just seeing how his character eventuates. But anyway, that's pretty much the news for this time around. Not much happening this week, but you know, that's Star Wars. It's always on, it's always off, it's always on, it's always off. It just keeps going on since 1977. Anyway, so let's get into the views. Views is my story idea on anything that is Star Wars. There could be a Star Wars movie, it could be a Star Wars series, anything, just a story idea. Now, way back there was a whole lot of talk that there was going to be a Boba Fett series. A lot of the fans at that time really just grew with disgust with the idea. You know, we don't need to know about Boba Fett. You know, it's an old news thing. It really did get not a lot of favoritism by the fans, surprisingly, because Boba Fett is quite, or Boba Fett, whatever you like to say, is quite popular. But there has been, you know, again, more talks that Boba Fett's going to get his own spin-off series, you know, from this whole Mandalorian thing. Is it a good idea? I'll tell you this. I think that it's just an area of Star Wars that would repeat itself, especially with The Mandalorian. I don't think you're going to, unless you create this character to be something that is extraordinary, which I don't know how you could. To me, extraordinary characters in Star Wars are like, you know, Darth Vader being the chosen one, or Anakin Skywalker, whatever you like to call, Luke Skywalker, the Emperor, you know, characters, or, you know, Darth Plagueis. I just think Boba Fett having their own TV series would just serve the hardcore fans, which is great, but I don't know if it's a well worth sort of thing to happen. I would abort from the whole idea. I think there's other stories we can go on about. As I've said before, I think a lot of people's ideas, Darth Plagueis TV series would be great. If you don't know who he is, he's the guy, the master, the evil guy that taught pretty much the Emperor Palpatine his whole sort of, you know, thing. But I think that would be a much better series if you're going to base something on a character that we already sort of know in Star Wars. That's the one. But anyway, Boba Fett, I just don't think it's a good idea. It's sort of a story idea on my behalf, but it's more a non-story idea that's a story idea. Sort of like a Seinfeld episode, isn't it? There's something that makes it nothing that's really nothing. Anyway, so that's my views for this time around. Let's get into the reviews. Reviews is of The Siege. It's chapter 12. It's episode 4, season 2, The Mandalorian on Disney Plus. Straight off the bat, 8 out of 10. Great episode. Directed by Carl Weathers, pretty much what I know him as is Apollo Creed from Rocky 4, Rocky 3, things like this. Anyway, I did see him and I did say to him, Apollo! When I was at Star Wars Celebration, like probably many others did. But anyway, I think he's a fantastic character. I love his sort of way. I do think 8 out of 10 for this particular episode. It brings it down from last week, but it had a lot of drive this episode. It had a lot of action. It had a lot of build up. I liked sort of the end, how it sort of and this is spoilers a little here, so if you want to avoid this if you haven't seen it, I like the sort of build up. So it's setting it up. It's not more of a big surprise. It's more of a setup for, I think, a big final episode out of this. I think the next one is, I think we're going to see Ahsoka in the next one, but let's just wait and see. I love the visuals are amazing in this. I just I know the world at home wants more video on demand, or things we can stream at home rather than going to cinema. Personally, the cinema is just a great experience on my behalf. I think it's really starting to phase out with a lot of people, especially when you have TV shows like this with such great visuals. It doesn't have to be about effects, but it's just great visuals, and this is pretty much put in their own studio sort of area. This is made cheap to look really big budget, and to be honest, it looks fantastic. It's very seamless. I think so the Siege had a bit of an emotion there. I didn't mind I think Cara Dune's character, I think that's her character's name, not really utilised well. I think they're sort of overdoing the whole Baby Yoda thing. I mean, look, it does work, but it's a bit overdone. I think they're going to just, start putting a bit more seriousness into the character before we just take this character on too badly. The Siege, 8 out of 10. Look forward for the next episode, whatever that it's going to be. Season 2 so far is going great. It's on Disney Plus. Anyway, that's my review for this time around. Let's get into the interviews. Interviews is 2 questions we'll ask myself for you guys out there. The first question is, how is The Mandalorian Season 2 going so far? I think it's really progressing in a great fashion, slowly but surely building up. It's definitely got a bit more substance than the first. I'm sort of enjoying this season more than the first. I thought the first was, look, here in Australia, and personally myself, from the people I understand, not every single person in Australia, but it's not widely accepted in a great way. We don't think it's like, oh wow, it's the best thing ever for Star Wars, or it's had a rebirth for Star Wars. It is good, it's very good, but it's not over the top. Personally, the answer to the question is, how's it going? It's going very good, and it's getting better. That's the answer to the question. Let's get straight to the point. Anyway, second question. Now, second question, we're going into episode 5, which is chapter 13 next week. Should we see Ahsoka then? I think yes. I think it's time. I think it's sort of been said in the media anyway. I think it's sort of expected it's going to happen. If Ahsoka does not appear in this next episode, I think some hardcore Star Wars fans are just going to get a little bit twisted on YouTube and the internet and maybe Twitter. But I think it's time to have Ahsoka be revealed, and I would love to see Ahsoka in a different look or light. I think she needs to have a real sort of dusty, sort of real tired sort of look, but still having the energy of who she is. Sort of that used future look maybe to her character. I always thought her sort of actual character look was a little bit clown-like. I did think her look, in the end, especially Rebels, the cartoon, the animated series, it just had a bit more of a seriousness look to it. I think it's time to see Ahsoka in episode 5. I won't be disappointed. I'm interested to see if they do it or not. But I think it's time, and I think the fans will be happy as well. Anyway, so that's the Star Wars show for this time around. Subscribe to the channel, The Force Always, only on YouTube. You can Twitter me, my details are down there, or Instagram, or even YouTube, message me, whatever you like, for any possible questions, or anything you like at all. I'm here on a weekly basis. I just keep rocking on, as I say, and speaking of which, until next time, my friends, keep rocking.